Hey, this is Life, Tech, and Sundry. Join Alan, Marcos, and Josue, the hosts of LTS. Follow us at LT Sundry on Twitter, LTS.pod on Instagram, Life, Tech, and Sundry on YouTube, and all your favorite podcast distribution services. Stay frosty.
What was that?
What
was that? Welcome, guys, to the LTS podcast. And my name is Marcos. With me, we have the big three. Alan.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Glad to be back. Marcos, what's up? Josue, it's great to be back with you guys. Can't wait for this combo, man.
And Big J over here on deck.
Yes, I am back.
Welcome back.
In flesh.
Yes. So, yeah, like
virtually.
Yeah, online.
Digitally.
On main.
Metaverse.
Yes. Hashtag not sponsored yet. What do you guys think about that with the whole thing with what is it, the whole Facebook in general? A lot of people are saying that Facebook's dying. What do you guys think?
I thought you were going to mention the intro, but the intro is pretty nice.
Oh, yay. Yeah, I want to hear you with the surprise. It was weird because it was a lot of it will sound probably better on post.
Yeah,
but
hopefully when we listen to it on Spotify, we're going to be like, oh, this is awesome. And please, listeners, let us know in the comment section.
But yeah, like, what do you guys think? What do you guys want to talk about? I have a couple things I want to talk about, but I want to hear you guys first.
Well, just off the top, from what I remember sharing with you guys on the, what's it called? The multiple messages on the group chat. Things about like AI, right? So, I remember
again.
Yeah, definitely. I remember there was like the chaos between like ChatGPT where they kind of like bypassed like it's like safe features or whatever, and they were talking about how they could I guess I don't know what it was, if it was like to take over the world or end the world or something, or just the different prompts that were kind of like whack or wigged out. And you know, it was weird how the machine kind of like processes those things, right? I think other one
about the memes, though, the one with Trump getting arrested and running away and all those things.
Right, that's another one. Music.
Did we talk about
created.
That one?
No, did we?
Or no, like just mentioning it, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I think I mentioned it before, where it's like the AI generated songs or music with like the voices of certain celebrity singers and stuff like that, which is pretty
recent or
awesome.
past times.
Yeah. I think past, present, and not future just yet, because I don't think it's that smart to see who's going to be
it's
the
like
next
Marcos,
star.
the next Michael Jackson.
No, right.
No. Maybe no.
Like,
another one. I think another.
Or Stevie Wonder.
Right, who? Stevie Wonder would be awesome. I think another one that I mentioned or sent to you guys was I think it was like a limited edition Nebula Capsule 3 laser. I think Flossie Cardi was reviewing it. It was
laser.
like
no.
Yeah, it was a Transformers Decepticon.
That guy went to Brooklyn and he's like, yeah.
And he was basically reviewing the what's it called, the projector, and it's a limited edition because it's like Transformers and whatnot. So that might be something that might interest Marcos, because I think a couple of months back you were kind of thinking about buying one to either replace or substitute your television at home. So
the like throw like the monitor that can go. Yeah.
That's why I was thinking about it, and that's why I sent it. I also remember Josue sending us a really like awesome picture of a wok with some delicious food in it. So that's something we might want to talk about, Josue. So hopefully you're up to that.
It was 1964.
It was back in the day.
I was back to back with Jesus.
It's like
I was back to back to Jesus.
It's like
I forgot. It's like God in one hand, Bible in the other. This is from Devil Artemis.
It's like New York back in the day, 1944.
Escape from New York. Oh wait, no, I was going for the 80s. Sorry.
Okay. And I don't know. There was another thing that I was sending to you guys about volcanic activity. I think it was, or was that Marcos sharing something like that?
The volcano was vibe checking everyone else.
Or was it the one where like someone threw a drone at the volcano as it was like kind of bubbling and it kind of hit the drum.
Dang.
There's
Maybe.
a couple of those, yeah.
Maybe, but as recent, there was volcanic activity over there in the state of Puebla in Mexico. There's a lot of ash coming down right now as we speak. I
Ash
think
Falls, you know.
yeah, it's pretty active right now, so it might be something interesting you guys might want to talk about.
Is which one? The active one or the sleeping one in the state of Puebla?
No, the active one.
Okay.
The other ones I think are taking a nap. And I think I mentioned it before. The new atoms, the M251s from MKBHD. The YouTuber, right? Samsung's new products or Apple's new products that might be coming out. Other than that, I think that was it. And I think the last one was like the DoorDash article.
What happened? What's up with DoorDash? Tell us.
So
Deliver upon us.
So I think, I sent the link. If you guys want to look at it, you can definitely look at it. So it basically kind of was talking about how the title of it is DoorDash pushes back against inflated delivery prices. So it says restaurants that mark up their prices on the app will now be less visible to customers, while those that keep them the same as in-store will get a boost. So essentially what DoorDash is trying to do is incentivize restaurants to give quote-unquote fair prices for their food, being that, you know, DoorDash and all these other companies, delivery services, charge a pretty hefty delivery fee for restaurants to use their app. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's a good idea, but at the same time, it's like, how is the restaurant going to make money? Kind of like, because they still have to pay DoorDash to use their app. So it's like the DoorDash is trying to make it seem like the restaurants are out to get you, but it is kind of weird.
Isn't it also that like DoorDash, they say it on their terms of services where the prices are going to be more expensive on their app than in person?
Right.
Question.
Right. So yeah, go ahead.
Like something recent that's going on in the state of New York specifically. They're thinking of raising the minimum wage up to 20 simoleons.
Well, I mean, all I can react to that is like, again, didn't we just raise it to 15? Like 2-3 years ago?
3, basically, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's nothing new. I think that's a net positive. It's a net negative for everyone.
Yeah, but
in
state
the
by
larger,
state, like how is a worker, a dasher, if you will, or a delivery a worker going to be compensated per state or per app, or what? Like that's one of my questions.
Well, that's the thing. People tend to forget that each state isn't the same as a New York City or an LA or San Francisco. Each state is different economically speaking because of how their GDP is, the type of work that's going on there, and what people would consider a livable wage or a minimum wage or whatever the case is going to vary from place to place. That's why people like to go out to different states and buy their houses, and they buy bigger properties and houses because it's a lot cheaper there, because the economy there is a lot different. Which, if this is going to be like a blanket type of thing, that sucks. If they're gonna wanna make you pay money that you don't even earn at your job for like a service that's literally a luxury, not a necessity. That might be a bad move for DoorDash, Uber Eats, and
that's confusing on that part for me. But like you just explained it though.
Yeah, no, but like in the long run, like if people like over here in New York, right, in Manhattan, if you work at a McDonald's, you're automatically you're getting paid minimum $15 an hour, and then only going to get moved up, paid more. This is the reason, and I think we explained this before in another podcast. This is the reason why during these 3 years of like pandemic or whatnot, a lot of the companies were smart enough to try to move forward on making themselves a lot more resilient to these things that are going to happen. So this means having a better app, one, and Josue is a very big proponent to this. He says if your app sucks, No one's going to use it. So you better hire the right people to make better apps for your restaurant or whatever the case is. Update it, make it look great, make the UI like as friendly as possible, easy to maneuver, and that's very smart. The second objective that a lot of these big companies are implementing now are the big ass screens in their storefronts where you just select the food or the menu, the kiosks, and then all you have to do is pick up, right? And that's part two of it. So they're getting down to the point where, all right, maybe we're going to have to hire 1 or 2 people instead of 10 people. So we fire everyone. Yeah, now we can pay those 2 or 3 people $15 an hour, but that means we don't have to, we can pay for the kiosk and only pay for it once and just pay for the maintenance, whatever company that has to do its maintenance. Hopefully it doesn't end up like the ice cream machine where it's always constantly broken in the McDonald's, right? So that, yeah, there's ways bigger companies are getting around this. I don't know how Uber is trying to, or any other companies are gonna want to like maneuver around that, but it kind of sucks for them just because it's like, yeah, they're gonna make it seem like the restaurant, and mind you, there might be restaurants that are being really sleazy and upping their prices on the stuff that you order on their apps. But even if they were to put it at normal prices, DoorDash is still asking the restaurant for a cut of whatever the profit is because they're using the app. So it's like someone needs
a
to
convenience fee, I guess.
Right. So no, they're actually charging them for them to use their app. So it makes a lot more sense if you really want that, maybe not exact same experience, but you want the restaurant prices, I guess. You'd probably be better off if you just call the actual restaurant and be like, yeah, let me have X, Y, and Z, and go pick it up yourself. If you want, the more of or you want to pay less for I guess you can say words are hard today. If you want that luxury to not go and sit and eat at the restaurant, you just want to go pick up. And they have to charge so they can actually pay the actual Uber driver, right? Or the DoorDash driver. So those are the things that, you'd have to take into consideration and see how that makes sense or doesn't make sense. And someone is taking a haircut whether they like it or not. So you kind of have to weigh or take that into consideration and weigh those things out and see if it's just not better to just go yourself or order and pick up yourself. And yeah, I mean that's as much as I thought through it right now. I don't know, Marcos, what your 2 cents on it is.
It's just that it's gonna get more expensive, and that's just the name of the game right now. But the whole thing about like the pricing scheme, it's just being mind-boggling for me. The whole like having either DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats. I feel like they can scoop into those kinds of 2 markets: the delivery of food and people. And what else? I don't know about what's Lyft. Lyft is it's on its own lane.
Well, does Lyft offer food delivery or convenience store delivery or drugstore delivery?
No.
So yeah, I think it's kind of,
it can stay in its own lane but I don't know if that's a good thing. Jury's still out of that one.
Right. But then again, if they only focus on that, they have I guess a smaller pool of people they can offer their services to, right? So I don't know, that might be a good thing, but it's still left to be determined.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the reason why Uber and DoorDash kind of branched out to do those type of things is to capture more people.
There is a demand.
I'm not sure. I can't say with 100% with 100% of accuracy if that's what it was. If it was people demanding it or people just being lazy.
I mean, that's a demand nonetheless, right? Like even if people are lazy or a convenience, synonyms, right? It's still there's still somebody can capitalize on that.
Because you're actually putting the situation beforehand, right? So it's a matter of being lazy.
Lazy to what?
To actually going out, because they the way I would explain it is that they created a false perception of what is a need and what's a luxury.
They didn't create it. It was there. So they just, I feel.
Yeah,
in my
you
opinion.
can say it was there, but wouldn't it be smart for you to create something and make it seem like that's a necessity?
You make something a necessity. Yes.
Yeah, because then exactly
with a
right.
lot of propaganda.
Right. So even if it's not necessary, they make it seem like it's necessary. It's all perception. So do you need a DoorDasher or Uber Eat driver to go get aspirin for you at the CVS? Even if you
it's a
don't
very
have
niche situation. Yep.
No,
But
well,
no. Majority no, basically.
as an example, right? It could be you not wanting to go and getting food and you just wanting someone to drop it off at your crib. Yeah, but when you don't have the money to pay for that service, is it a need or a want is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and then they're not gonna. Well, in theory, they shouldn't buy it if they don't have the money.
Well,
But then there's credits
you just
and all
knocked
those
it on the
things.
head, bro. You
If.
shouldn't.
Big if.
You shouldn't, but
If.
should
Yeah.
and like
Dude.
a need and a want is very different.
Yep. A supply and demand are mutually exclusive to need and wants.
Well, again, I would
No, I agree.
suggest to you, what I would suggest to you is that even if people don't need it or don't want it, if the company's a good company and a good marketer, they're going to make it seem like you should want it and should need it.
Because it's better for them.
Yeah, of course. That's all marketing is,
That's
bro.
free market. That's the open market.
Right. But then if you don't have the money to pay for that service,
As a customer.
right, as a customer, then you would have to go out of your way to either go buy it
Yeah.
XYZ, right? Or,
Yeah.
turn on the car, get on your
Yeah.
bike, or walk your ass down to the store.
But that's not the company's problem.
Yeah, that's definitely not their problem. But what is our problem is that a lot of people are bad with money. So what they usually do is
true.
charge it on their credit card, and then they're in a huge mess of
With
debt.
those, like what's right now interest rate? Like 24, 25% basically?
Depends on your credit card.
Yeah.
So
Or-
say you have
yeah.
say you have a credit card and your credit card issuer is telling you that you're going to have to pay 22 point something percent of what's it called, of a penalty, right, or a tax on
An
that credit,
APY.
right, that you have to pay interest on your card because you have made no payments, or you're defaulting on your payments constantly, or you're not even, or in some cases you might be paying the minimum once in a while and you're not paying off that debt. So
Which is you're just digging yourself in a deeper hole.
exactly.
But yeah, and anyways, what about the whole situation with damn it, I want with the whole thing with what's your opinion on theater, Alan?
Depends what the show is. If it's a Cirque du Soleil, maybe,
that's theater, yeah.
right?
What about
But,
with
like
Ghost in the
a-
Shell?
As in what? As a
The theater,
movie, TV show,
The theater play.
a theater. I've never seen an anime themed or a manga or graphic
Spider-Man?
novel. Like, I've never seen that in theater form, like as in acting out.
What things have you seen in the theater? Like in the theater,
In
not
the
movie
theater?
the theater, if you will.
Yes, like a Shakespeare, like Othello type of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. The one I can remember. Oh, dang, bro, you're taking me back when I was like.
A young buck, a youngling.
I don't even remember the show, the name of the show, but it was I don't know if it was either Othello or it was or if it was what's the other one called? It was another one that Shakespeare wrote that I
Hamlet. On
yeah,
Broadway.
it might have either been Othello or Hamlet, one of the two.
Or Les Mis.
And I saw that in a local theater over here where we live. But like if I'm trying to remember like something more theatrical, like bigger, and I'm not to say that like, at Radio City or anything like that, but something pretty big. I think I want to say Pennsylvania. I went to Lights and Sound, I think it's called, the place. And it was on, I think, either Noah's Ark or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Went biblical.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if it was either Moses or Noah's Ark. It was one of the two. But they had like live animals and stuff like that.
Waterworks and everything.
Yeah, they had a lot of neat like theater tricks. Well, not tricks, but like, you know, how they went about
Theater
making
play.
the show. Yeah, making the theater seem more alive. So it was literally lights, sounds, like the
Smells?
wind blowing. Yeah, of course. When the animals were close by, you saw like the sheep and stuff like that, the llamas and horses and stuff
Them
like that.
spitting at people.
Well, they were very well tamed and trained, so it wasn't a big issue.
Dang,
But
missed
it
up
was
on
very interesting to see that like all in a theater.
in 4D.
Yeah, literally 4D. So that was something I enjoyed.
Is theater the original 4D maybe?
Possibly. Depends, I guess. Some theaters are a little bit more well adapted, well equipped for those type of shows.
Yeah.
And some were just more like an amphitheater where it's like a lot more suited for you listening to someone speak.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Or a poetry or something like that. But yeah, that's been my experience. What about you, Marcos?
I'll be the last one. What about you, Josue? Mr. J, what's the last thing you visited in the theater?
I think Mr. J said he stepped out for a sec. So
I've been exposed.
No, you're good. But yeah, Marcos, go on.
For me was the Christmas one.
Which one?
The Nutcracker.
Oh, nice, bro. How'd you like that one?
It was something. I went to see it. I went north instead of going to Pennsylvania. I went to Connecticut when I was in school back in the day. I went to Connecticut and saw that one. I liked it. Again, there was there was smoke, the whole thing with the pretend snow and all those things. And,
dope. So it wasn't like cold, like 4D, like it was cold in the theater?
I think it was in winter anyways. It was in winter, so
okay.
they just opened the windows and let the wind come in, right?
Nice.
But yeah, for me that's my last experience. But for your heads up, as like a New York staple that's been around for like almost easily 30 years, the Phantom of the Opera officially closed its operation in the middle of this month of May, as of the recording.
Oh, that's sad.
After making a couple $1 billion.
Oh, that's good.
A couple billions. And before the pandemic, it was just raking in customers from everywhere around the world. And of course, it wasn't just in New York, but the original place of Phantom of the Opera was in England, or London, in the London Theater. And now the whole thing went over here to New York.
Okay.
It made its staple over here. It went across the country in the US. I don't think it went into Europe. I don't recall on that one, but it stayed in Broadway. People made their careers, retired with it, all those things.
Oh,
like,
crazy.
Actors that were like the young actress of what's her name, one of the main protagonist girls. She became one of the older aunts of the protagonist. Like, she stayed in theater and
oh wow,
progressed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people would just not leave. They love the community, whatever. Like, there's some pros and cons to theater, to that theater business as a backstage worker.
Right.
And they retired, but now as of 2023, no more.
Dang, bro.
Next projects.
It kind of reminds me of like the same gravity of this particular show of Phantom of the Opera leaving. Kind of reminds me of when Cats also left.
5 years. Cats stayed for 5 years, which was an anomaly for theater. I feel like theaters like in manga that they're always competing what kind of plays.
I think Cats ran for more than 5 years.
Hey Google, how many years did Cats stay in the movie theaters?
Not movie theater,
whoops,
the actual.
Yeah, you're right. Theater. How did I say that? Broadway? How about Broadway specifically?
Sure.
Hey Google, for how long did Cats, the theater play, go on Broadway?
18 years. On the website Vox.com, they say, and in 1996, Cats became what was then the longest-running show in Broadway history, leading to the tagline, Cats, Now and Forever. It ran for 18 years on Broadway and grossed over $1.3 billion. When it finally closed in 2000, the Winter Garden Theater underwent another massive renovation. People also sometimes ask me, how long?
Yeah, so that's why I remember it.
Hey Google, how long did Phantom of the Opera stay in Broadway?
On the website Time.com, they say, the Phantom of the Opera closes on Broadway after 35 years. The final curtain came down Sunday on New York's production of The Phantom of the Opera, ending Broadway's longest-running show with thunderous standing ovations, champagne toasts and gold and silver confetti bursting from its famous chandelier. People also...
Yeah, so there you go. 2 of the longest shows ended.
But 5, you're a legend. 3, you're a heavy hitter. 3 years. 1 year, you made it into theater.
Right.
Now imagine 18, you're a legend, like you're a myth, you're up there.
Yeah.
And then with 35 years, who? Like what? Like
yeah,
it's,
nah.
like
That's
it's just a staple.
right.
Like One Piece.
Like One Piece.
One Piece still going. Yeah, One Piece is. I'm still gonna say One Piece still
Right.
stands.
But I think the art is a little different as far as like one is
The
actually
medium?
acted out. Yeah, because I think it's not that it's a lot more. It's a lot easier. There might be even more moving parts to it in anime
But there's
form.
there's a start and an end though in the Phantom. I feel like they have a little bit. Me over here trying to create an excuse that
No.
anime manga's better.
What I mean to this point is that the story is already one story and it's redone every time it's acted out, and you'll constantly get new actors or actresses to play out each role as far as like the years go on, right? But with One Piece, it's been going on for quite a while. It's the same artist, the same mangaka, right? You have Ichiro Oda drawing the same characters and just developing the story even more, with world building even more. And then I think the actors here are the voice actors, right?
Yes.
Which are like speaking or acting for these characters' voices, which is kind of mind-boggling, because how long have they been doing this job for, right? I think when was the first One Piece episode aired? Like maybe 10 years ago?
In the 90s?
Like 10, 15 years ago?
And where? In the US or in Japan?
No. When it originally started. I think it's 20 years already, yeah? I think.
Let me tell you.
20
hey
years?
Google, when did One Piece first come on TV in Japan?
The air date of the first episode of One Piece was October 20th, 1999.
99, okay. 99.
So
It's up there with Cowboy Bebop.
right. So how many years have the voice actors been acting for these characters?
Yeah, almost 30 years minus 27 years?
Yeah, give or take.
28, 25?
So imagine.
24 years.
So they're getting up there.
It's
Depending
like the Goku
on-
voice actor.
Yeah, depending on how long, what's it called? How long Ichiro Oda is gonna keep writing for this, and he says potentially he's gonna end, but imagine he goes the full 35, full 40 years. You imagine?
I'm down. Let's hope it's an
Well, yeah,
incredible
you
adventure.
say that. We all say that. We're down, but
The consumers demand it.
yeah, but I don't know if my man Oda wants to do that. You know?
Yeah, it's my straw hat goes off to him.
Yes, sir. I too take my straw hat off for him.
It's a hard word to say.
Yes.
What about you, Josue? You okay? You back? Guess not. Okay. But yeah, for me, the other thing is that I wanted to do a PSA on was the concept of something that everyone, including you, dear listener, or watcher from the podcast on YouTube, or the listener on Spotify and all your different podcast distribution sites, you are exposed to. Yes, you are exposed to.
What about me?
Spam.
I don't like it very much.
No one does, unless your business is to do spam. The food, the dish, which is has its own history. But how did it make it from that freaking congealed food in a tin can to the digital world? Like that? How? Como? Do you have any?
You tell me, buddy.
You tell me. He says.
Tell me, buddy, please.
Okay. A cluttered history regarding spam and how it affects you. Yes, you. And how launched in 1937 by the Hormel Company, a staple of Americans' diet in the Great Depression. The Great Depression.
Right.
Gained world renown during World War II. For what? For its ease of production and logistical distribution throughout the world. Even to Europe, Asian, Australia, and Russia. It became part of pop culture thanks to who? Monty Python.
What Python?
Even Monty Python has its the whole coding program called Python. It's an homage to Monty Python. Can you imagine that? So, thanks to Monty, or Mr. Python, it leaped into the cyberspace to represent clutter like emails, calls, computer viruses, and much, much more. So, what's your experience, Alan, and maybe Jose, hopefully, once he comes on, with spam, and what would you like to impart on the listeners?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, every time I see spam in my email accounts, like, I try to select all of them and then press the send to like the delete box. But before that, I usually mark it like phishing for the most part and put it as junk. So
in the trunk?
So I try to get rid of it before I go through all my other emails. It's very difficult because a lot of times, like, say you want to sign up for a I don't know, like an email what's it called, for like a company. Say a company wants to send you information about their product or whatever the case is. Sometimes they will share your email with third parties, and it's really difficult to not,
because it's money for them.
Right. It's difficult for you not to be on a bunch of different lists that are sending you spam mail. And ultimately, I guess there's email companies that you can go to and open up a secure email where your email isn't shared to third parties.
But you have to spend money on that.
Right. So I mean, but it is an option. It's not the answer, but it is an answer, you know?
Yes, and I feel like with this, we can make actual suggestions. Like, for example, during my early times with an email, I didn't subscribe to many things, so my email was, clean, untainted with all this spam, if you will. But once I started joining, back in the days, what was my favorite thing? Cartoon Network was a thing, but it didn't require email. This other page, what's the one where you like buying stuff, like not eBay, maybe? No, not eBay. Maybe them too. Like I feel like no website is free of selling your contact information, right? In my opinion, I feel like any company that has a website and is doing sales, they have the opportunity to exploit whatever data they have from potential customers. And sometimes they even say that on the agreement, and not all of them have an agreement, whatchamacallit. And they only have a checkbox, the terms and services. There you go. That's my...
Right.
For me, the only thing that I can feel like I can impart to the listeners and the viewers, hopefully on YouTube or whatever platform, to be very proactive on your emails, on how many emails you may have. That's my... And call the phone numbers. That's a hard one to manage. I feel like smartphones or phones right now are getting a lot better on recognizing all those things and say, warning, this could be a spam. And you as you're on your phone, you can just press block and hang up and then block. Don't even give them the time. That will be my personal suggestion for that. Now, viruses. Haven't had any experience with that recently. Or
Neither have
think so,
I.
yeah.
Have you gotten your I guess your personal information stolen, like your social security number or anything like that?
Credit card. Now that you're talking about it, remember
credit
that
card?
thing in 2016 with the I think Visa got hacked, or was it Mastercard?
I don't know. It might have been Experian or Equifax or TransUnion. I remember one of those getting hacked.
They sent you a letter and they said, "Oh, dear customer, since you are a card holder with this company, we will be offering this free to, we will be giving you monitoring and all those things." And I'm like, on the letter, like, yeah, whatever, I'm not doing anything. So, and nothing happened on my card. But that's my own experience with compromised information. And it's my business, but it's not. I feel like I have no ideas of what can I do to have my information recovered. Is it my it is my responsibility, isn't it? It should be.
Your personal information, yeah. If it's a credit card number that you get stolen or hacked, well, you have, I guess you can say, the credit card company has systems in place in order for them to assist you with that sort of situation. So, like, you can pause or freeze your card and stuff like that. And it makes it easier for you to either, maybe you misplaced it, or maybe someone did end up taking your card's number and tried to buy or purchase things that you usually don't buy in a location you usually don't go to. And it might be a very weird thing or amount that they wanted to charge to your card. And usually credit card companies are really good about sending you a notification, whether it be on your app or by email, and they let you know, hey, listen, someone was trying to use your card to buy this. Was this you? If not, then please report it or let us know, and then we'll close that account and send you a new credit card. And that's happened to me before. I'm pretty sure it's happened to you. So yeah, I think credit cards this is one of the reasons why I would choose a credit card over using your debit card for most of your 100%. Transactions.
Yes, tell them.
Because even though like, I bank with the bank I use, and they are really good about doing I guess you can say, the notification if something is weird, and they'll allow you to, like, switch your card or get a new card in. You kind of get the other card declined or canceled for your debit card. But in order for you to not go through that hassle, because that's a lot more sensitive, because that debit card is linked to your actual checkings account. So that's something that, when someone has access to that, potentially can lose all the money that's in your actual checkings account. So the best course of action here is that it's kind of a tough pill to swallow for some, because not everyone is really good with money, or being, I guess, conscious of not overspending. So this answer is a little, I guess, not the best piece of advice for a lot, but for some it is, where I would suggest, not financial advice again, definitely.
This is just a PSA.
Yeah, this is a PSA. This is what I do.
Big elevator.
I usually use, for most of my transactions, a credit card. Not only is it not your own personal money, the credit card company usually does a really good job of fighting on behalf of you. So you don't
their money, man. They're fighting for their money.
Yeah, because it's their money. But also the fact that they have a system in place where it almost makes it a lot more attractive to use a credit card instead of your debit card, because you have purchasing protections. So, like, say you buy a certain thing, it extends the warranty on that particular item that you bought, so you don't have to overpay for some sort of third-party warranty that you don't want. Some credit cards have the benefit of you renting a car, maybe, and you don't have to pay for their insurance, and the credit card takes care of the insurance aspect of that rental car that you're renting out for a day or the week or whatever the case is. Some credit cards allow you to have access for airlines or hotels or
A lot of perks.
yeah, perks, benefits. Some even have perks to go into lobbies when you're at the airport, which makes
Or
it
video games, even like Xbox One memberships or PS3 memberships.
I've never seen that in the cards I've used, but what I have had on my credit card is like for one of them a rotating category every 3 months, where I get 5% of a bonus for using that particular card on that particular category. So, like, say they might give you 5% bonus points for buying gas, right, for your whip.
Right
Or-
now, with the gas prices, you need every perk you can get.
Right, or if you go to pharmacies is another category sometimes, or supermarkets, or buying at Amazon or eBay sometimes are another category they might use. So there's other credit cards that are exclusively used for restaurants. Maybe you like to go out to eat restaurants and you get a bonus, purchasing points, or they give you extra points for you purchasing food at a restaurant, right? So that might be another perk for your card. So again, it makes it a lot more advantageous for you to use a credit card, and it's a lot more helpful because it's not your money that you're using. And then when you have to pay the card, you can pay the card back and be good if you're good with money. Again, this is what I do. So not.
And it also helps you to block spam. Like if your money gets their money gets compromised, it's not yours that's being taken advantage of.
Right, exactly.
So that's like one of the many, like, spam can hit you right in the wallet and hurt you with viruses. Spam can hit you in the phone because they can also get your information through there, unfortunately. And what else? Emails. Don't click on everything. Do you think current filters right now on spams, potential spam notices on your emails are on point, or do you think you will be always for the rest until you own your email? You have to be vigilant on that. Al.
You repeat that question again, buddy?
Like with the I'm gonna call myself out. I have a Gmail account. Do you think their filters and all those things are pretty up to snuff to counter a lot, to be able to call out phishing attempts and all those things for me, the user? Or do I always have to be vigilant, like looking left, looking right, looking up all my email listings, my inbox, and keep myself vigilant in my inbox?
I would say always be vigilant yourself. Don't wait for something bad to occur in order for you to be on the offensive. Be proactive. Don't be reactive. Because a lot of times there's simple things you can be on the lookout, so you don't end up lamenting after the fact where you're like, dang, now I have to call my credit card company or my bank company or my what have you, my third party accounts for certain files. Like, say you have to call your cell phone company in order for you to switch or change the password for certain accounts or profiles, because now effectively your information is kind of like messed up or in the hands of another person, right? So that's something you might want to take into consideration. It's really hard sometimes as well, because a lot of times what I've heard from others is that they like to use the same perhaps password for like multiple different accounts, right?
Password 123.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this with Gen C last recording, right?
What?
So yeah, those are basically the things that I usually think about, and I'm like, dang, bro.
Do they keep you up in night?
No, not particularly, not for me, because I try to be really good about having different passwords for all my different accounts, and not keeping them readily available on the actual the cloud or something like that, where it can easily get accessed by someone else. Other people would probably use other programs like your internet browser might create a long sort of like password, right? A password creator.
That's a rocky road to walk.
Again, I mean, I'm just pointing out certain
the service
options.
exists, yes.
Right. I mean, without mentioning any other company, I'm just saying there's companies that do that type of service where they'll create a password for you that's very vague or very elaborate, so people don't guess it off the rip, and that could be good. But I mean, there's nothing like something that you are able to actually write down, or whatever the case is. I mean, I remember there was a certain YouTuber mentioning certain things that you could buy online, which is like a security key, like a physical USB type C or USB type of key. One that I was looking at was a Titan security key from Google. Well, that's on the Google.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, right. Hashtag not sponsored. It's an actual physical key that you can hook up to your phone or your laptop, and it adds a physical, tactile type of security to your digital devices, where not only do you have to add some sort of password, but you have to physically have the key on you in order for it to actually open up your phone or your laptop. And without
it's like
that,
an authenticator, I guess.
Right, but it's a physical object that you keep in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right. So it might be something that you want to use to add an extra level of security, so people aren't just able to get close to your phone or your laptop and swipe the information with some sort of reader of some sort, and you're able to keep it a lot more secure that way. So it's on top of a biometric or a code, there's an actual physical object that needs to be inserted or needs to be in proximity to the actual device in order for you to actually access the information inside, or open it in order for you to access the information inside.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my other piece of device that you could actually use. Again, not sponsored, and obviously look at some, I guess, reviews online in order for you to find the perfect fit for you. But again, that's something I would take in consideration, just in case if security is something that you're really looking into and might want to buy something to add a other level of security on top of the your really hard to predict code on your phone, or design that you do, or maybe your retina or your pattern or your fingerprint, whatever the cases, you want to add another level of it with the actual physical key that you connect to your phone or your laptop, or be in proximity to it and access it. Like, say someone takes your phone, well, now even if they have your access code, they can't get into it because they need the physical key as a second lock that they need to unlock in order for them to access the information inside. So there you go. That's something I would probably put in the mix.
Remember, dear listeners, like Smokey the Bear always said, only you can stop spammers.
That's true. That's very true.
Only you, the human, unless it's an AI listening, which hello, you can stop them. And if it's your business, please share your contact email with me.
Yes, of course.
I have a business proposal that you cannot refuse. I can't do that accent. Like,
no, the Smoke'em's the Bear?
Yeah.
The Smokey the Bear joint?
No, Smoke'em's, no, the I have a proposition that you cannot refuse. Like the mafia kind of style one. But I'm just jibber jabbering over here. But yeah, like what's next? Let's see. The next thing is let's see. Ooh, something related about anime, but not anime itself, okay? Anime adjacent, if you want, okay? The Kanagawa Prefecture rep, a Gundam writer and a native will be attending will be presenting in a TED Talk in this area to inspire future generations on tech, science, art, and culture, my boys. So a Gundam Rider is gonna, as of this recording, it already happened, and to you, dear listeners, it's already passed on. But in Japan specifically, he'll be an opener to pull in the younglings that like Gundam and all those things. He's gonna be he talked about how art, culture, science, all the what's that acronym? Math.
What do you mean, STEM?
STEM. All the STEM sciences, all the STEM programs are important to develop that sub prefecture for them. That prefecture to grow as an area, as a super niche area, which is still a pretty big thing, but it's directing. They're trying to grab like an idol for their generations to open up for the TED Talk in general. So he'll be the opener for them. And he was saying how like science is important, art is important, culture, all the anime and all those things I consider as part of culture. And the choice is yours if you consider it as culture. But he was talking to the young bloods out there.
Okay.
Well, what do you think? Do you feel like we should have like what's an icon right now? Eminem, I guess. Eminem maybe going out and doing a TED Talk about how it's important for the next generation to produce more music or to produce go into the sciences, which they are. Don't get me wrong, and help the local areas, I guess, or the country. Is it a good thing to have like a pop culture idol like anime or music, in my example, to talk to the young ones? Do you think it's a good idea?
I guess to a certain extent it's a good idea. I see where the positive aspect is going or coming from, but I think unfortunately, like, whether it be the newer generation coming up and to a certain extent like even us, like I sometimes I get the suspicion or feeling that we kind of crowned the people that are not the best for us or not the best of our culture to try to, I guess, promote, I guess, something good, quote unquote good, and understanding that these people are not our, I guess, moral compass. Betters, yeah. Or compass, yeah, for certain things. And I think it's, I think we should kind of start promoting stronger family more than anything else to start off with, before having a rando kind of like being
anime
crowned
writer, a manga writer.
Well, not even like, I guess you can draw inspiration from a lot of different people, but a lot of times it's like you tend to see a lot of these people or young people look up to the people that they shouldn't be looking up to for for inspiration or for how they're supposed to act or what they're supposed to do. And I see that very, very often. And a lot
I think
of times,
we had an out of office talking about the taters, right?
About the what now?
The people that follow Tate, if you will,
exactly.
Crew, the taters, I call them.
Well, again, that's your point of view, and I respect your point of view. I'm not saying that I subscribe to everything Tate and his brother, say, but there is some sort of, I guess you can say, truth behind what they're saying in a lot of aspects, but not everything that they say is absolute or is right. Where you could probably, I could probably put a Tate and a Logan in front of you and ask you to dissect what they're saying and say what is a net positive for you to take in. And you would probably be more surprised that you probably would take a lot of cues from Tate instead of Logan, or vice versa, right? Because you probably are trying to see what is useful to you, eat the meat, spit out the bones type of thing.
Now, my question is, what if you put it like I don't know what the time, me thinking about time and it's using my reference as in generations, as in ages. Logan being at the early, I don't know his age, in the earlier spectrum, Tate in whatever spectrum, and having someone else in that other spectrum, like what's this other guy? Who do I want to use? Like an older content creator, because I call all these people and consider them content creators more than anything. I forgot the. Damn it. I'm rambling over here. Help.
Well, I'm trying to think what you're trying to say, bro.
Like content creators, like these guys are like Andrew Tate, Logan Paul. I consider them content creators first and foremost before using them like moral compasses. What if, like this thought experiment, you would put Tate, Logan, and somebody else? What would be your fourth or fifth person that are up there in recognition in the social media, but are also up there in age?
Well, I think it really depends on what, I guess what their content is really about. Because like I can tell you off the rip, like if I were to tell you right now just a couple of people that I watch, demographic wise, age group wise, it's gonna be a lot different from people that you probably watch, because they're not into the same thing, or they don't speak about the things that we would tend to talk about on probably the podcast, and not in a bad way, or not in like a general way, but like say if I were to take if I were to speak about stocks or something, that has nothing to do with what Mr. Beast talks about, wouldn't be a subject that would be touched upon perhaps in the same way
Filthy
or
Frank.
fashion, right? Or in the same way or fashion that a Tate or a Logan would approach the subject with, right? I would probably point you to the direction of someone I watch, like a Joseph Carlson, right? Or say if I were to tell you about another person that speaks about perhaps like watches and stuff like that, or just like more grown up
Flossie.
I was gonna say more about like I don't know if you've seen this guy,
Louis.
The show is called the Urban Gentry.
Okay.
So this gentleman speaks about watches and high-end luxurious watches, but also
He's a sommelier, if you will.
I would say, like, to me, he is a sommelier of watches, and I think he's very insightful. I think he's very honest, very transparent about what he likes, what he doesn't like, and explains things very well about what his passion is about
The
watches.
subject matter, his subject matter, yeah.
Right. And I would point you to him. I do like listening about coffee and stuff like that. So I would point you to a direction of James Hoffman about coffee, right? And all these gentlemen are older than I am, but I tend to, well, not Joseph Carlson. I think he's younger than me, but the level of, I guess, maturity there is a lot different from what I would get from a Tate or a Logan Paul or a Mr. Beast, or who's the gentleman that you mentioned before?
Philip
Right.
DeFranco.
Okay, so that gentleman, I don't tend to watch their content, not for any other reason, but because it's not my cup of tea. It's not something I gravitate towards or look for, or I'm in need for that type of entertainment or information that they like to share with people.
It's a very thin line between entertainment and information, right? Oh, are they mutually exclusive?
I think there's a good mix, and everybody's obviously has their own opinion. They're entitled to their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is that I don't prescribe myself or subscribe to their quote unquote entertainment / information, so I don't watch them. I've heard of them. I've possibly seen clips of them, but it's not something that I go out of my way to look at that. Like entrepreneurial information, I'll probably go to like Valuetainment with Patrick Bet-David and his team over there. Other people that I like to watch are tend to be older. There's people that are like either my age or younger that I'll watch that have something that is more niche, I guess you can say. Like I'll watch like a Shelby Church, and she does really great cinematography, videography. For me, I really enjoy watching her videos because it looks really aesthetically pleasing, and I think the pacing of her videos are really well done, and she explains things very well about real estate, about her business ventures, doing Airbnbs and stuff like that. And I find it very entertaining, even though she's not a male and she's not older than me. Well, at least I don't think she's older than me. And but I do find her to be entertaining and very well read, and yeah, and very entertaining in that way. And so these are the people that I like to watch and stuff like that. And there's plenty more people I watch.
It's a huge thing, yeah, to consider what content is.
Yeah. So for me, like, not for nothing, and not that I would never watch a impulsive podcast episode or I don't know what's Tate's thing. He does his
no clue,
his sort of information thing, right? It's not that I'll never say no to watching one of them, but like I tend not to gravitate towards them because sometimes I think of them as being like the most, I would say, eccentric or even borderline, like that's the extreme on either end. So I tend not to listen to them, or if I do tend or get to listen to what they say, I always take it with a grain of salt because it's like I kind of know where their target audience is, and I don't think I'm that person.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't mean that there's things that that both people say that might be true or are true, and it just sometimes gets lost in the mix between their shenanigans and the amount of other stuff that they say that kind of blocks or opaques the information that is valid or true. So sometimes I just don't want to sift through all that, and
you don't got time for that.
Right, or I'll just listen to a clip of it and be like, oh, hey, listen, that made some sort of sense. And or I kind of understand where that point of view is coming from, where what he's thinking or what his thought process is, but not the full thing do I share interest in, or do I believe 100% of what they're saying is true. So that's the only reason I would say that. But again, for me to be like full blown like, oh nah, yeah, I don't listen to their stuff at all, and I think both of them are inherently evil or inherently bad. No, I can't say that because I've never seen any of their stuff in order for me to make that sort of qualification about them. So for me to listen to someone say, oh yeah, nah, I think they're both crap. Oh, have you heard any of their information? No, but I just know. Like that's just an excuse.
Word on the street, it says that what I've gathered from the street makes me reach the conclusion without listening to them that they're crap. When?
Well, that's that's a half-ass excuse to me.
It's an excuse, like, amen. Yes, sir.
Right. So again, it's better for me to say, well, I can't give you 100%, my thought of what they spew, right? Because I've never really listened to them, but I've personally heard enough through clips of them to understand that, yeah, they say a lot of things, and some of these things they might have valid points to, but it's kind of opaque by the fact that they're very extreme on other things that kind of make no sense whatsoever. So I tend not to listen to them because of that very point. But to say that they're both, or one is better than the other, I think to a certain extent, Tate is a necessary evil, where the other one is more of a, how can I put it?
They're capitalizing on
I think
demand
he's
right
now. Not I wouldn't say he's a savvy business person that plays to the people that are putting money in his pocket. That's how I would kind of like section them both off, where one says a lot of true things but does kind of like crazy shenanigans, and has gotten himself in trouble for it. The other person also has done the same very thing and has gotten in trouble for it, but now tries to limit himself to doing things that is producing him more money than grief, is what I would say.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, if you like one over the other, I mean,
The choice is yours.
no, well, and going back to the point, Marcos, that we started with, I think unfortunately these are the people that
The clout that they have or something
no. I think a lot of these people, or these people are the ones that are crowned and so happen to be a lot of people's champion or their heroes. And to me, it's very weird where it's like, why would you want these people to be why would you crown these people your heroes, or why, like,
your role models?
It kind of makes you wonder where it's like, damn, do you not have a father figure in your household? And if no, then dang, there's so many other people out there that could be a better mentor, a better, person that can show you or teach you just, a whole bunch of other things that would add a net positive to your life. And speaking on the moral side of it, it would probably be better for you than whatever these other two gentlemen are selling. Again, like, this is the reason, and this is why I think internet is a double-edged sword, right? Where you get a bunch of crap, but there's also a lot of good. And
It's indifferent.
Hey there, Marcos here. This marks the end of part 1 of this recording. Join us next week on the posting of part 2. Also, there's a video version of this podcast posted every Thursdays of the week. The podcast is posted on Tuesdays and the video on Thursdays, unless otherwise told. So, enjoy. From the bottom of my heart, Marcos and the LTS squad, signing out.